Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for September 2nd. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and I'm here today to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 27 live feeds. It was day 56. 56 of them in the house. And we had a veto ceremony. We have a replacement nominee. We have plenty of campaigning and some drama to talk about. And with me to talk about it all is Kirsten. How you doing, Kirsten?
I'm doing great, Taran. I can't wait for the season to be over to see you on billboards and be like, that's my guy. That's my number one ally.
I forgot about that conversation. Not in my notes. Let me just take a note right here.
What was really great was you you kind of unconsciously went slightly into the Vince there because you were thinking about Vince. Like, you're gonna have trouble after this season's over,
Taran. Well, as you know, Keanu is the HOH. He nominated Mickey, Morgan, and Vince for eviction. And Morgan won the veto. Now, yesterday, we had a whole situation where there was a pitch to get Morgan to use the veto on Vince. And it was working because you can't trade 1 for 1, but you can trade 2 for 1. However, over the course of the night, with the help of Ashley and Rachel, the plan fell apart. Morgan started to realize that, wait a minute, Keanu could betray me. And Keanu gave up on the idea entirely, admitting to Morgan that he's not going to put up Lauren, which was the pivotal point of the entire pitch, because he felt like he had locked in Ava's vote. And therefore, it didn't matter anymore that he can now just nominate Ashley, and it doesn't matter that Vince comes off the block or not. And so, of course, the rest of the night was just Vince. Why? Pouting.
He's upset, okay? It's not fair.
It's not fair. That Kirsten, I think your mic just listen, the microphone is upset at the pouting as well. So
Are we
still don't hear it. Oh, it's like in and out a little bit.
I'm gonna pop out and come back in.
Yes.
You got this.
All right. Yeah, there was a little bit of a mic issue before we started, so she's gonna restart the computer. But so basically, that was the night before, and we woke up in the morning, and I kid you not, after all of the chaos the night before, it just kicked right back in again. It just picked up exactly where it started. It was wild because, yeah, Keanu had gone to Ava to be like, hey, they're all pitching you hard. And Ava was really upset about it. And she talked to Will, and Will was like, oh, wow, yeah, that's weird. He was too tired. And so right away in the morning, we get Kirsten back. And Ava has a longer conversation with Will now, who is actually awake now because he has 2 states of being. One is, yeah, for sure. Whoa, wild. And then the other one is, whoa, hello, I'm Will. Nice to meet you. Ava, that's interesting. Oh, Keanu's telling you that they're all pitching for you to go? That's a lie, obviously.
I really thought you were just gonna say the exact same things with more energy there. Like, yeah.
Honestly, that is normally Will, but he was like actually on one this morning, really going hard. Like, hey, that's Keanu's lying to you. Clearly, he's obviously trying to drive a wedge between you and the girls, and if he succeeds at doing that, that's a successful HOH for him. And Ava, though, remains a little bit skeptical. She's like, I don't know, frankly, I could see Rachel doing that. I think that, maybe, and this is just my opinion, but she could have maybe pushed for me over Ashley. I could see that happen. I mean, it's not like a big deal. Like, she's gonna fight for Ashley. That's fine. And Will is like, oh, maybe she could have done that. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the energy goes down just a little. Yeah, maybe, I guess. And that's the thing with a player like Ava, right? Like, she has the social reads and she's like a pretty good observer of seeing how people interact with each other, but she doesn't use any of it. So then it just comes to these conversations where she's like, oh, well, Rachel could have done that, but also it'd be totally fine if she did do that. And you're just never going to get anywhere like that.
Yeah, and this whole situation, of course, is a little strange because on one hand, yes, Ava is correct that Rachel is prioritizing Ashley over Ava. That's clear, and she believes that part of it. She doesn't believe the part of it where like Rachel is actively trying to get her specifically on the block, to get her specifically voted out, and in part that is a little bit of a lie. We don't know exactly what Rachel would have done if Ava had gone on the block, if she really would have voted Ava out over Vince, which is what she was telling to Vince. But Keanu is definitely exaggerating the idea that like they were really trying to get you up, because really what Rachel was trying to do was get Lauren up. And Ashley basically never once pitched Ava, at least to Keanu. She did have that moment on like, Saturday night, but that was a whole other situation. So she's right to be a little skeptical of that angle of it, but there is still more information to drop, and we'll talk about that later. But the more important thing that happened in the morning, right after Ava, or like while Ava's having this conversation, Keanu is approaching Morgan, and he's still thinking about the night before and how Rachel is basically telling him, if you put up Ashley, it's game on, F around and find out. And he's like, I mean, I'm really thinking, Morgan, I should just put up Rachel. I should just put her up. If she's going to be that upset, I should just put Rachel up. But I just need to make sure I have the votes. So would you be willing to vote out Rachel? And she's like, well, of course. Okay, I'm voting to keep Vinny. And he says, no. Even against Mickey. She's like, oh, yeah. I mean, I could think about it. Maybe. He's like, well, I need to know. I need to know I have the votes. She's like, yeah. I mean, it's just Mickey. She's done a lot to me, so I don't. Maybe it's like fine, and then I won't do it. Okay.
And then Keanu here is like, oh well, I guess I'm now a victim and I can't put up who I want to put up because you won't vote at Rachel. Why didn't you come up with this idea on Saturday, Keanu? Like, if you really cared to make that sort of move and make those splashes and burn the relationship with Rachel, you have to start working on that the second Morgan wins the veto, so that you can actually get votes.
Thing he was mad at Vince about.
But he can't do that anyways, because I would just be trading one for one. He needs to get it's Labor Day weekend. There are back to school sales. You have to have the buy one, get one free. Come on.
Yeah. Morgan tells Keanu, well, listen, Vince has another idea that you should talk to him about. You might not like it, but Vince has another idea. So Keanu goes and he talks. He's like, hey, Vinny, like Morgan's saying that you have something to say that I'm not going to like. So what is it? And Vince is like, oh, well, I was just thinking, maybe I would have a better chance against Ava. And it's like, really, Vince? The morning of, you're finally pitching this the morning of, and you're finally like, oh man, now I'm actually being faced with the reality of going against Ashley on the block. Now I'm going to start pitching Ava.
He's awake. He woke up now. Like, I can't. No, I promise myself I'm not engaging it with Vince's humiliation kink anymore. I can't do it.
Keanu says, I disagree. You don't have a better chance against Ava. You can't trust Rachel. He's like, no, I'm really telling you, like Rachel's telling me she'd vote to keep me over Ava. And I think that I could stay against her. And Keanu's like, no, dude, don't be stupid. You can't trust Rachel. Oh my God. Lauren joins them and he's like, he's trying to get Ava on the block. Like he thinks he can stay against Ava. And Lauren's like, yeah, I don't think you can trust Rachel. I don't think so. I don't think you can trust Sorry, I had to ease into that one.
But it's so good because there is one truth that we can universally acknowledge on Big Brother 27, and that's that Keanu will be wrong 100% of the time. Everything he says is wrong. Just get the reverse and it'll be fine.
And so Keanu says, I was thinking about doing Rachel. I was thinking about putting Rachel up. And Lauren's like, oh, I like that idea.
No,
And
imagine if
Vinny-
Lauren had pushed for it on Friday or Saturday.
That would be doing too much. Kirsten.
Of course, sorry. I can't believe I suggest doing too much.
Vinny is like, oh, well, Rachel. I mean, he's like, do you think you'd have the votes against Rachel? He's like, well, yeah, I think so. And it's like, You think you don't have the votes against Ashley? You would have the votes against Rachel? Like, at this point in time, Ava seems more likely to vote to keep Rachel than Ashley. She's always been closer to Rachel. And that might have changed by the end of the day. But so Vinny starts pushing Rachel, like, oh, okay, yeah, we could do Rachel. I think you could get the votes for Rachel. And Keanu's like, yeah, but I don't know if Morgan's on board. Like, oh, I think we could get Morgan. And Lauren's like, yeah, I really think we should do this. And Keanu's like, okay, well, I need to go talk to Ava then. And then Vinny's talking to Lauren and he's like, okay, Lauren, I think that you should go talk to Kelly and get her to pitch Rachel too. And Lauren goes, I think I've already done too much. I think I've done enough. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to do too much.
Lauren's clocked out.
She put in a good 20 seconds of work. Whew, that was exhausting. That was enough.
Honestly, this made me laugh. To me, this is a great Lauren moment. I feel like she was like looking him in the eyes. She, said what she needed to say, and then when she was asked to do more, she said, "No, I've done enough. Like, you should be able. You've got this from here. I'm out. I'm clocking out."
So Keanu goes to Ava, and he says, Ava, I'm about to tell you something. You can't let this leave this conversation. And Ava's just like, Keanu, I'm not in the mood. Just tell me. He goes,
before the veto ceremony, by the way, she is talking to the HOH. Ugh, I don't have just tell me. I don't have the energy.
He goes, what if I put up Rachel? Would you vote Rachel out? And she's like, what? Put up Rachel? Why would you do that? Because she's a huge target. She'll never go on the block again. This is our chance to take her out. What do you say? She's like, I mean, didn't you tell her you weren't going to put her up? Yeah, but this is our opportunity. She's like, oh, I don't know. Frankly, it's my opinion that if you tell someone you're not going to put them up, you probably shouldn't put them up. It's like, but this is Rachel. Listen, come on, I need your vote, Ava. She's like, listen, that's my opinion. You do what you want. You do you. It has nothing to do with me. Frankly, nothing to do with me.
I really feel like a missed opportunity here for Ava to bring up Keanu's HOH letter about playing the game with integrity. I really feel like that could have shut all this down just a lot faster.
Well, he says, but it does have something to do with you. I can only do it if you're on board. She says, I'm sorry. I just can't commit to anything right now. And frankly, also, by the way, if Vinny wants my vote, he can come and talk to me himself.
Honestly.
Fine. I guess I won't do it then. I'll just put up Ashley.
Oh, he's so hard done by. Poor Keanu. Poor HOH Keanu. Can't get his way.
So while this is all happening, upstairs, Ashley's in the shower, as she's wont to do.
Why wouldn't she be? It's veto ceremony day.
And Will comes to talk to her, and he's coming to talk to her about the Ava situation, but she's got her own Ava situation she wants to talk to Will about, just to clarify some things. I didn't realize how impactful this was on Ashley the night before, but basically Mickey had told Ashley the night before about how Ava was going, because Ashley's still on her anti-Ava kick, and so Mickey contributed to that by telling Ashley about how on Ava's HOH, Mickey had to convince Ava to not put Ashley on the block. And that Will also had to help convince her. And Ashley was like, whoa. And she talks to Will about it, and Will did his normal thing of like, oh, yeah. That's, Ava's going to put you on the block. Yeah, oh, wow. Oh. And so she's talking to him again this morning. She's like, yeah, so, I'm thinking about how Mickey said that Ava wanted to put me on the block. And he goes, what? Ava wants to put you on the block? What? That's not true. She's like, what do you mean, Will? We talked about it last night. He's like, what? About Ava wanting to put you on the block? What? That's crazy. She's like, Will, what do you mean? You basically admitted it last night. I don't remember that. It's like, Will, I talked to you about, you had a look on your face. It's like, no. I don't think I was paying attention.
He's just admitting it at this point. I don't have the bandwidth to pay attention to you all the time, so sometimes I'm faking it.
She's like, Will, the look on your face, though. Your face, Will, when I told you. He's like, no. I thought you were saying something else, not that. I thought you were saying something else. Will, your face. What did you think I was saying then? I don't know. It was not that.
Oh man. Yeah.
Come on, Will, I saw your face. But why would Ava want to put you up? She keeps going on about this because she's not easily fooled. But he keeps adamantly denying it. And so he eventually starts spinning it into like, man, Mickey just making stuff up, huh? She's like, wow, I can't believe Mickey would make that. And then they start going off about Mickey more.
It's like in this game, Will has 2 daughters, okay? And he needs to protect both of them. So it's not good when one daughter is coming for the other to his face.
Yeah. So Will does eventually convey some of the information about Ava, hearing from Keanu to Ashley and subsequently Rachel, which culminates in Rachel right before the feeds go down for the ceremony, running to Ava and kind of cornering her and being like, I heard that Keanu told you that we were pitching you to go up on the block. I never would do that, Ava. I would never do that. And Ava's just like, what? She's like, yeah, apparently Keanu's like cornering you and telling you that I'm pitching you to go on the block. I just want you to know I would never do that. And she's like, okay, Rachel, wow. Where did you find this? Who told you this? Because she just talked to Will about it, and it would be very scary if Will was leaking her information. And Rachel goes, Mickey told me, yeah. Where else? And she's like, oh, okay, well, no, it's fine. And she's very clearly upset about this interaction with Rachel.
I mean, you don't want to know that your father is spilling your tea to other people. That's upsetting.
Yeah. So the feeds go down for the ceremony, and when they come back up, we discover that Morgan has taken herself off the block and Ashley has gone up in her place. Now, Ashley was planning for a call out moment when this happened. She had a couple of lines about like Keanu being Tarzan and something about a shoe. I don't remember. We'll I assume hear it on the episode.
I mean, will we? Maybe Thursday, at the start of the Thursday episode, they'll give it to us.
I heard people talking about the generalities of it more than the actual quote itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like feeds come back and Keanu's like, today I learned I'm a narcissist. Well, we all have to learn sometime, you know?
So there's big drama here though, because it was Ashley was in the middle of, she said it was like a 1.5 to 2 sentence thing. And Keanu interrupted her in the middle of it, and that sparked a whole argument. And that Rachel got involved, and it was a whole thing. And then after the argument, Rachel apparently told Lauren, hey, be careful associating yourself with a misogynist. There's a world outside of this house. And Lauren told Ava about this, and Ava was appalled that Rachel would call him a misogynist. It's like, I'm not defending Keanu, but misogynist. And Lauren was like, I don't know if I would get misogyny. But and Ava's like, man, I hate everyone in this house equally. I'm an equal opportunity hater.
Move over, Dr. Will. Ava Pearl's in the house. She hates all of them. Yeah, and I mean, like, we've literally been talking about this all season, and you can clock it in Keanu's behavior. Like, misogyny is not just like, I hate women, right? Like, it's not that blatant. It can be the implicit biases of Keanu never believes what a woman is saying, but believes it when a man, Vince, is blatantly lying to his face and has all season, right? Like, this is not new. And if you're just watching it, you really can see those patterns. But I do think, and especially when there's so many, like, the population of the house is like pretty young. And I think that sometimes when you're younger, you can feel like you maybe don't want to you don't necessarily want to call something what it is, because you feel like, oh, that's so harsh, or that's such a that's so extreme. And it's like, now you could just call it what it is. It's fine. It's like earlier this season when Morgan was like, well, but I wouldn't, like, I believe like men and women should have equal rights, but I wouldn't call myself a feminist, right? And it's just like, these are those like 101 conversations that someone's having when they're just starting to learn about these topics and like understand them, and they'll get there. They'll all get there.
People are very afraid of words, and they will call out every piece of what is misogynistic behavior. But the second that it's labeled misogyny, whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
hey now, that's ridiculous. That is mean of you to say. And it's just like, what are we doing here?
It's like, but don't go that far. Don't name it. Don't call it what it is, because then you kind of have some plausible deniability in the, like, because you don't know how this is all going to be perceived when you come out of the house as well. And like, and again, and I think this has been said multiple times over the season, like, this doesn't mean that Keanu's like irredeemable. This doesn't mean that he's like the worst person in the world or anything like that. It's just, he clearly has some implicit biases that he's going to have to work on. He seems like a guy who's open to personal self-improvement, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this plenty before, and everyone has their own sort of ways of viewing these things and talking about them. For me, I really think that it's okay to talk about behavior that we find misogynistic, racist, homophobic, whatever. We can call them those things. And it doesn't have to be like, okay, this person has some biases in a certain direction, therefore burn them in hell. It can just be like, we're pointing out the behavior. And ideally, you point out the behavior to someone, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can just be, hey, I'm noticing this thing that you're doing. And it can be talked about without them freaking out. And ultimately, ideally, corrected and learned from. And we can, like, all live in harmony together, because that will always happen. But
as is experienced by thousands of years of human history, Taran, obviously it's fine. But yeah, and that's the thing too, where it's like everyone has implicit biases as a result of the society that we live in and the structures that the society is based off of. We all have them, and the key is just being open to like learning about what your implicit biases are and working on not having them anymore. That's the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, and like you should not be afraid of having those things or admitting to those things. You should be afraid of denying that they exist, because that's where I think a lot of people, and I can't speak for everyone, but that's where a lot of people, you'll lose them, because if you're gonna be like, never, I would never, when you very clearly are, that's when you're actively making a choice and it's no longer unconscious.
Yes.
That's the thing. So
speak on it, Taran.
This obviously had been talked about in the house already. Mickey talked about it. Rachel had talked about it. Rachel does go and talk to Keanu about this a little bit, trying to explain to Keanu that, you know, she's been doing this a long time. She sort of like understands how things might come off. She's kind of trying to look out for Keanu. He needs to be careful about the way that he talks about women. And she talks a lot specifically about the interaction with Ashley, which we did not see. There's a lot of like assumption in the house that this is getting blown out of proportion. Ashley herself says, I didn't really take much offense to it, but Rachel really did. But I think that's because Rachel has a lot more experience with Keanu in the first place, because she also talks about like, it's not just Ashley and the way that you talked to her. It's also the way that you talk to me sometimes, Keanu. You do talk down to me a lot. And he, in that moment, at least when talking to Rachel, was like, wow, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. That was never my intention. I will work on that. Was it really not your intention? Because the way you go, Rachel, oh my God. I mean, it certainly seems like you talk down to her, but that's fine.
But that's the thing too, where it's just like people like he might not even realize that he comes across as condescending, right?
He so talks he's like, well, down to a lot of people.
Like Keanu talks down to everyone as well. Like it's not just to women, it's also to everyone. Mm-hmm. And I think that from his perspective, it seems like he thinks he's like the amp up guy, that he's going to help people to reach like their true potential of confidence and achieve the enlightenment that he has achieved from listening to podcasts about self-improvement. And learning that you don't come across the way you think you come across sucks. And I think we've all been there.
I mean, like genuinely, Keanu to me is the kind of guy that if I was friends with him, I feel like I could have a conversation with him, and I would hope that I could sort of open his eyes to a few things and maybe get him to be a little more open about the way that he talks. That would be like my perspective as a friend of Keanu's. And
he might listen to you. To me, right. I wouldn't be friends with Keanu because I don't think that we would get along.
Unfortunately, what we often find in situations like this is that Keanu will probably have friends that are like, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. They're blowing it out of proportion. And then, you know, so on and so forth.
No, those people were in the chat today. And guess what? I have the fastest band clicker in the West. So you're done.
And those people are just the people who they're against their own interests in this situation, because they're continuing to make this sort of divide. It doesn't have to be this war that you're trying to make it out to be. It really can just be a conversation where we come together. But, you know, listen, again,
that is maybe a topic for another day. Sorry, I might have derailed us here. My apologies.
So he says he'll apologize to Ashley. He does ask. He says he goes to Lauren. Lauren, you're a woman. He says, you'll be honest with me, right? Was I crossing any lines? And she's like, I don't think so. I don't like honestly doesn't even give him that committal of an answer. But he apologizes to Ashley. He brings her upstairs. She says, don't even worry about it. Honestly, the main thing to me was that I had like a couple of lines I wanted to say, and then I got really annoyed when you interrupted me, and then honestly I forgot what I said after that. Like I don't even know. But don't worry about it. Like you know, we were both heated, so on and so forth. And this is again the situation where it's like the whole thing gets conflated because it's talking about a specific incident when this like the call out I think came from a whole history of behavior, but because it's focused on a specific incident, it's easy to dismiss because, well, if this specific incident isn't a perfect example, then the whole thing gets thrown out and you should never say it and so on and so forth. Many things going on here, but point being, ultimately this is probably not going to be too impactful on the rest of the day or the strategy of the game, but definitely something that came up. The other thing Ashley mentioned to Keanu is that another reason why she was annoyed was because she heard that Keanu was trying to say that she was throwing Ava under the bus and trying to get her nominated, when he knows that that was not the case. In their conversation, she was very, very careful to say that she was not pushing for Ava to go on the block. And he agreed that that was the truth, to Ashley at least. And so I fully expect this to be something that Ashley pushes, where even if Rachel continues to get in trouble for the Ava stuff, Ashley was very careful, outside of Morgan, to not say Ava's name. And if she confronts Keanu on that publicly in front of Ava, which she maybe already did, or maybe there's more of that could happen later if he continues to lie about it, Keanu might be forced to admit that Ashley did not push for Ava, which would be very good for Ashley, of course.
But here's the thing. Do people believe what Keanu's saying? Like,
no, as of right now,
like, is that even a win? Is that even a win? Like, if he's like, oh yeah, no, Ashley didn't push for Ava, people are gonna be like, Ashley pushed for Ava.
The problem is that there are people that are willing to confirm that information, like Vinny and Morgan, and they might not be enough. But if they also did actually get Lauren, but again, it's like, how would Lauren know? So all of this is happening. Now, Rachel does catch some heat from Ashley for approaching Ava the way that she did, because she's going to get Will in trouble. And they were pretty annoyed about that. But Ava does tell Will, despite everything, she is a vote to keep Ashley. She just needs Ashley and Rachel to chill the F out.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, everyone just needs to relax. And, yesterday was Labor Day, and it's actually kind of rude that they were all working so hard. They should get the day off.
Of course.
Labor Day. Come on.
Vinny took the day off.
Vinny's had a few days off. Vinny actually maybe should have clocked in.
Now, there was a funny scene. I talked about this last night on the roundtable with Lauren. She was like trying to pick the lock of the drawer underneath the bed in the have not room. And people were like, is this a power? It's like, no, they would never be that cool.
It was, and it was for so long, like all 4 feeds for so long are on Lauren with her freaking bobby pin trying to pull out the drawers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she ever found what she was looking for. She's
under
the dresser. She's like looking around.
She eventually manages to pull a drawer out, and then says to the cameras, like, hope we get hide-and-go-veto soon. So she has her spot picked, which is the drawers in the bed of the have-not room that nobody knows can even open.
But it took her 7 years to open the drawer. Like, do you really think that when it comes to hide-and-go-veto, you're gonna have a set amount of time to hide your veto? You can't. You don't have.
Now it's unlocked. Now it's like easy to open. She's figured it out.
Is it?
The real question is, like, once people are actually looking for things, surely they'll at least try to pull something out to see if it opens. And I'm not sure it's actually going to be as good, but we'll see.
I mean, they don't even do hide-and-go-veto every year, so I'm not inclined to be too concerned about it.
It's and for the record, I don't think she's going to like put it in there and then lock it again. I don't think that would be allowed, or even that she would be capable of it. I think it's just unlocked now. And so if they don't think to try to pull open the drawer, then they won't find it. Will they allow it? They allowed her to pick the locks. So they did not tell her to stop. So.
Okay, but honestly, it would be low-key iconic if she was able to relock the drawer and then no one had even a shot to find her veto the whole, like, that's
yeah.
funny.
I think, listen, That's you breaking the competition. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So that's happening. Ava does talk with Will some more about Rachel. She is pretty annoyed with Rachel. Again, as I mentioned, she says she hates everyone. She really does not like the way that Rachel approached her, the way that Rachel is questioning her. Apparently, there were even more questions about what those conversations with Keanu were about. We know that Rachel and Ashley were feeling a type of way about them. And so I assume some of that got into whatever interactions they had. I think Ava did actually have a little bit of a part of the drama that happened at the ceremony or after the ceremony. So she's pretty annoyed about that. She says, Ava says, Keanu and Rachel are basically two sides of the same coin. They're basically the same person. She feels similarly about both of them. And you might say, oh, this is quite the deterioration for how Ava feels about Rachel. But the truth is, this is how she felt about Rachel to begin with. Rachel put in some work and got her to soften up on her for a little while, but she's kind of back to where she started on Rachel, which is I'm scared of her and she's crazy.
Well, and like Rachel has, taken her foot off the gas on maintaining her relationship with Ava, and so it's understandable that it would deteriorate.
Mm-hmm. So she says that, though, again, she does still want Ashley to stay over Vince despite all of that. She continues to say that in a way that kind of does imply that she's still thinking about the opposite, but right now that is what she's saying. She does have a conversation with Rachel to clear things up. It's a pretty good one. Rachel again denies pitching for Ava to go up on the block. And Ava, I think, mostly believes her, but basically says, like, frankly, in my mind, it was probably something like you were pitching hard for Ashley to not go up on the block. And Keanu probably interpreted that as you pitching for me to go up because I was the other option. Rachel's like, yeah, that was probably it. I think
That was
this is actually,
probably it.
I think this is a bit of a mistake from Rachel. There's a lot more dirt that can and will be dumped on Ava, and she should be getting ahead of it, I think. Explaining some of the different ways that she tried to not to pitch for against Ashley going up on the block. She's saying to Ava that she pitched hard for Kelly to go up on the block. I think because she doesn't even want to say that she was pitching for Lauren because she knows that Ava's close with Lauren, and that makes some amount of sense. But there's so much dirt on her pitching Lauren, and then also even worse, the thing that Keanu really wants Vinny to say is Rachel tried to pitch an alliance to us that we turned down, and the alliance was, in order to get Ashley off the block. And in that conversation, she also mentioned putting Ava on the block and promising Vinny that she would vote for Ava to leave over Vinny, promising trying to make an alliance with Vinny to do so on and so forth. There's a lot more that can be said, and the more that Rachel can get out in front of it, the better. So I think she's taking the easy out right now, and it's working, but there's another wave to come, and we're going to have to see how that's handled.
Yes, for sure.
In the meantime, as I said, Keanu is talking to Vince. He later talks to Morgan. We'll talk about that a little later. But basically, he's just saying, like, hey, Ava told me that I shouldn't be campaigning for you. So you need to go out and do it yourself. You need to be telling Ava these things, so on and so forth. And Vinny's like, yeah, okay. Maybe tomorrow. And so he's going to wait until tomorrow. He's got some time. So Morgan, in the meantime, she's going to work. She talks with Will, and she's feeling like she can maybe pull Will. And the idea being Will's really close to Ava, and she's talking with Will about, like, I really feel like a group of, like, me, Vinny, you, and Ava could be really good because, like, I don't know so much about Rachel, and maybe we should, like, let Ashley go to keep Vinny. And Will's like, yeah, maybe, yeah, let Ashley, yeah. Me, you, Ava, yeah.
Morgan's like, you don't need Ashley to be your daughter. I could be your daughter instead. Adopt me, please.
So Morgan's very excited about this. She really thinks she's got a tug on Will here. Meanwhile, Ashley talks with Ava, has her conversation with her, and it's a very good conversation. Ashley has the very good info to drop on Ava, which is, hey, there was this whole plan last night for Morgan to use the veto on Vince to get Lauren on the block. And Ava's just like, really confused about that. Like, that's so stupid. She's gonna later tell Lauren about this, and Lauren has to pretend like she didn't know about it. She's like, wow. So Ava's pretty anti-Morgan. The fact that she would potentially use the veto on Vince and the fact that she would use it in order to get Lauren on the block is pretty damning for Morgan. And of course, Morgan being pro Vinny is just another tick against Vinny on the checklist.
Vinny the lip, get him out of here.
So Morgan talks more with Keanu about how they should get. She thinks, I think I can get Will. I think I can get Will. And he's like, yeah, you should tell them about the alliance. You should, it's all this stuff, right? Lauren talks to Ava, or Ava talks to Lauren, I should say. And at this point, she's had her conversation with Rachel. She's had her conversation with Ashley. She's locked in with Will. She's feeling pretty good about the decision to evict Vinny over Ashley. And Vinny and Morgan and Keanu have all taken a back seat since the veto ceremony. So there's really been no pushback so far. And so Ava's feeling more and more locked in. And she basically tells Lauren as much. She says, I'm sorry, Lauren, but I can't keep Vinny in this house against Ashley. I mean, frankly, he's so sketchy. He's such a liar. And I love him as a person, but as a player, man, I just can't trust him. He's like weirdly close to Morgan. And frankly, he's better at competitions too. Like, why would I keep him around? Why would I want him and Morgan to be together winning competition? I'm so sorry, Lauren. I'm so sorry. Lauren's like, oh. Well, let me give you just briefly the true Lauren experience when you're trying to watch her on the feeds. Oh, you should never say sorry. You should never say you're sorry to me. It's fine. It's okay. In case you're wondering what it's like to listen to Lauren on the feeds. But what she's saying is, oh, you don't have to say you're sorry. Never say you're sorry to me. Ever. I mean, I am losing all of my people, and I feel like I just don't have anyone left in the house. But it's like, oh, have you been learning from Vinny? This is Vinny's way of campaigning. and Ava's goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh man, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize. No, I get your logic makes sense. Your logic makes sense. She's like, just Vinny the lip, like, frankly, I don't think I can keep him. And I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I just can't listen. I can't vote to keep someone who put me on the block last week over someone who voted to keep me last week. I know Ashley had my back last week. Remember that conversation she overheard between Lauren and Ashley, where Ashley was saying, I'm voting to keep Ava? Coming in clutch here, she said, I know Ashley had my back last week. Now, either way, they're still reiterating the Bond Girls final two once more. They are talking together about that. But Ava makes it pretty clear to Lauren, and Lauren gives a little bit of pushback, but it's mostly guilt tripping, which does not ever really work in the house, despite Vinny's constant attempts at it. It's not working.
I could see guilt tripping lightly being more effective for Lauren at this point because she at least hasn't pulled it as much. Like, I feel like to Vinny, she's made a lot of like, oh, I'm just a girl. I don't know what to do. I need help. But like in general, I feel like she hasn't been like pushing the guilt as much. So it's like, I mean, as you said the other day, like there's diminishing returns. So this is really the first time Lauren's pushed it. So it would be the most effective time for her to use it. But again, people don't like feeling guilty. You should actually try to make people feel good when you're in the Big Brother house with them, because then they will want you to be around. If you constantly make them feel bad, it's easier to get rid of you than to feel bad and have to look you in the eyes.
Yeah, that's why Vince's method of manipulation in the house is guilt tripping, which doesn't work. And so, to offset the fact that it doesn't work and makes people feel bad, he makes himself look even worse so that they feel better than him, as a way of offsetting the ineffectiveness of the other thing. But it still just doesn't work. He's never even really like gotten anyone to do what he wants. Because guilt tripping is just not an effective use of strategy. It very, very rarely works. And it does not work here with Ava. So Lauren goes and talks to Vinny after this. And she says, yeah, so I don't think Ava's going to vote to keep you. She basically said that, you put her up last week. And Ashley voted to keep her. And I kid you not, Vinny goes, but I only put her up because she put me up first.
Why do you sound like Caillou now?
Because that's what he sounded like.
Impression. Like, listen, for maybe the audience doesn't necessarily know about Caillou. Caillou was a cartoon when like Taran and I were young, but we were probably too old for Caillou. But it was like parents would be like, I won't let my child watch Caillou because he whines too much, and I don't want my children to learn this behavior, right? And listen, it's giving Caillou. I'm sorry, I cannot help it. Have you ever seen Vince without the hat? We don't know what's going on under there.
Lauren says, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do as much as I can without pushing too hard. So she learned from the best, I guess.
They could call their final two the invertebrates. Like, I don't know.
So, very funny. Ava then has a conversation with Ashley in the exact same spot, like very shortly after this. And Ava's telling her side of the conversation to Ashley. She says, I just talked to Lauren and I told her I was voting for you to stay. And Lauren was super chill about it. Like, she was actually totally fine with it. And Ashley's like, that's so good to hear. I really like Lauren. And Ava was like, yeah, I don't think you're on Lauren's radar. And she's like, that's so good. I would love to work with Lauren. She's just so emotionally attached to Vince. And Ava's like, yeah, well, maybe with Vince gone, she'll be more with us. Frankly, that's my opinion. And she says, and again, you're not on her radar at all. And Ashley says, well, that's great to hear because she's not on my radar. She's like, oh, well, I'm glad I told you then. Because, I don't want her to be on your radar. She's like, no, I'm saying she wasn't on my radar. Oh, I thought you were saying she was on your radar. No, she wasn't on my radar. And they're both very excited about this. They keep locking arms and like, woo, yes, this is so exciting. Lauren, we can work with Lauren. Oh my God, Vinny gone? And so they get very excited about this, and this is perfectly played by Ashley. It's exactly what Ava wants to hear. In Ava's mind, she's convincing Ashley to work with Lauren if Vinny goes, and Ashley is pumping that idea up. This is, again, the complete opposite of guilt tripping. This is getting her excited about a new opportunity where it's good for Lauren, it's good for her. Vinny leaves. Like, this is very good stuff.
Yeah, and it's like Lauren's on track to just be like the final girl of her side because everyone she wants to work with is just getting taken out one by one, where she'll then now be left with different pieces that she could work with. Like, this is, I think, really, it could actually be really good for Lauren if she could. And especially losing Vinny. Like, I do think like the level of whining overall is going to decrease so much if Vinny goes that it will maybe encourage everyone to just, stand a little taller, feel a little more like maybe they'll have the opportunity to feel competent, and that will then translate into confidence,
Genuinely,
Easy.
this is the opening and opportunity that Lauren should take to start branching out. She has locked herself in a dungeon with Vince as her dungeon master and Keanu as his dungeon master.
Stop it. Vinny would never want to be the master of anything. He wants that lady in the high heels to step on him. He doesn't want this. Do not put him in control.
And this is the opportunity that the game is wide open right now because the majority alliance is split between the Morgan Vince side and the Rachel, Ashley, Will side. And this is her opportunity to slide in there and start making some inroads. She doesn't have to commit to any side of that alliance, but if she starts just making some connections, at least talk to them. Vinny might be leaving anyway, so you might as well. Like, listen, if she can keep Vinny, she can keep Vinny. I personally don't think Vinny's good for her game at all, but I get where she's at with that. But at the very least, she should be hedging her bets and going along with this plan with Ava and talking to Ashley and trying to make a connection. And for the love of God, have a conversation with Rachel instead of building her up as this imaginary dragon in her mind. Talk with Will more. You haven't talked to him since literally week 3 when you put him on the block. Like, he's aligned with Ava. Like, talk to these people. Start playing the game. And you might have actually a shot at this. But listen, that's all I got to say about that.
No, but here, the thing is that I think Ava is like the perfect alliance for Lauren because they both have a similar appetite for how much game they can talk, and they can then like they'll clock out and then they can just like chat and have like literally in a conversation today, Ava and Lauren are talking and Ava just goes, enough game talk. What kind of boys do you like? Like that, like I think that's perfect for Lauren. Like that is a good speed for them to travel together.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Ava does go back to Lauren and says, "Hey, I'm really excited. I talked to Ashley. She wants to work with you." Like basically Ava now turning the tables on Lauren and trying to convince Lauren to vote out Vinny as well. Like, I know you like Vinny, but I think we can really make something happen with Ashley. And you know, Lauren is basically deflecting. And yeah, then they eventually stop talking game. But this is again like a big turn of events, and another reason why this whole notion of like waiting, I think, is such a bad idea because they let Ashley get a huge head start in this campaign. She's got Ava really excited about a new opportunity, a new possibility moving forward. And again, all of their info is dumping on Rachel, not Ashley. And so if they come in and start finally dumping this info, which they do have, and which I do think will work on Ava against Rachel, is that even going to be enough now to flip her on Ashley, who has got such a lead on them? It's going to be tougher. Not impossible by any means, but this was a very good post-veto ceremony day of campaigning for Ashley. She did a very good job.
Yeah, literally the saying is fortune favors the bold, right? Ashley's bold. Ashley works. Even when people don't necessarily love everything that she's saying, she's so just authentic that people are still endeared to her. And so she then has the runway to really go hard the moment she's nominated, and it doesn't rub people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. So, Morgan, by the way, normally somebody who is very active and would be on top of this stuff, spends most of her time instead talking with Keanu. Just upstairs talking with Keanu about Will, trying to work on Will, even though that's a dead end, seemingly. And in her mind, she's like, well, I mean, at this point, what do we even do next week if we keep Vinny? I don't even know. Like, if I won HOH, who would I even put up at this point? Like Lauren, maybe, I guess, and then Kelly. I don't want to put up Kelly. I feel bad for Kelly. She'd be so sad if I put her up on the block. So I mean, I'd have to like Keanu, but if I'm working with Keanu now, then I can't do. I think I have to throw the HOH. I think I have to throw the HOH next week. I can't win. I don't have anybody to put up. But if Vince leaves, no, then I'm all after Keanu. Then that he sucks. I'm going to make sure I get him out if Vince leaves. And it's just like, if you're Will and you're hearing that Morgan will only go after Keanu if Vince leaves, it's like, okay.
Hey, Vince gotta go. TikTok.
Vince has got to go.
Get him out of here. You've overstayed your welcome, dude. Yeah,
So, yeah.
this is very interesting from Morgan. Like, I would have expected that she would use the veto on herself and then kind of be like tending to Vinny in his sick bed all day, was kind of what I was expecting yesterday. This was not on my radar.
Yeah. So Ashley and Will do a bit of a debrief at the end of the day for them. And they talk about what they've done the day, so on and so forth. Will, of course, still firmly on Team Ashley. And they then start talking a little bit about, like, listen, if we were the sole votes right now, we had to choose between Mickey and Vinny, which one would we want to leave? They're both like, Vinny. Yeah, we'd want Vinny to leave. Can we make that happen, though? Ava's not going to be willing to vote for Mickey to stay. Could we get Kelly? She's been really annoyed at Vinny. That's pretty risky. We probably can't do. Well, we're just gonna have to keep Vinny. Maybe we give Mickey some sympathy votes or something. But basically, the topic is broached and then shoved aside. But another thing that I think there's two major things that we can anticipate happening today and tomorrow, which is the push to get Ava to flip her vote to keep Vinny by throwing Rachel under the bus. That push may or may not work. In response to that push, we have the other stuff, which is this idea that maybe we actually want Vinny to leave over even Mickey. And the more that Vinny and Morgan push in the one direction against Rachel, the more I expect we might see some counter pushing in the other direction. Wow, I can't believe they're throwing me under the bus so hard. Now I want Mickey to stay over Vinny. How do we get the votes to do that? And then they might start trying to get Ava to vote Mickey to stay, which she will be reluctant to do. They might approach Kelly. Who knows? It doesn't seem likely that side will succeed, but I anticipate that it might start growing as well, especially since the seeds are already there.
Yeah, it's very interesting to think of where we're going to go from here. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, of course, Vinny knows he needs to be working on Ava at least a little bit. However, he's a little busy last night with Morgan, so doesn't have enough time to hang out with Ava, who is sleeping in the same room as him, because he's hanging out with Morgan instead. More long hugs, more talks. He does have a conversation with Morgan where she reveals her secrets, that she's like a YouTuber. She's like a content creator.
She's 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, Taran.
Morg reacts. Model Morg reacts.
I do just also want to say about the long hugs. I think there's a moment when a hug stops being a hug and starts being a cuddle. Like even when it's like supposed to be like they're cuddling. She's gonna be on billboards after this.
He says, "Yeah, wow, I can't wait to come out and see you on billboards and be like, that was my closest ally in the house. She's my best friend."
And I think this is when Morgan is like, yeah, you and Kelsey will have so much fun with my friends. And I'm like, Morgan, this is crazy. What do you mean? Like, don't.
They're going to act surprised, but they won't be. This is on purpose. I think they both know exactly what's happening. And I think that they're both saying those kinds of things out loud to kind of like lampshade it, to be like, what? What do you mean? We just thought we were hanging out. Because we talked about Kelsey all the time. What do you mean? And Vince is like, I do get worried about what people might think of me outside of here.
This is also like a week ago when Vinny was doing his cam talk and he was talking about how or this was probably more than a week ago when it was like he has permission to do whatever it takes. He literally was like, my girlfriend said, do whatever it takes to be a provider for once in your life. And I was like, damn, if I ever had to say that to someone, that's a tough
it's also
sentence.
A lie.
Well, yeah.
In case anyone, like, I mean, we've talked about it, like, it is straight up a lot. It has been, you know,
It's listen,
she said that is not true.
we are we are not in the house, we're not in the relationship, but what's happening is crazy, okay? From an entertainment standpoint, I'm more to the Chappelle part of the spectrum than the Puyas part of the spectrum. But for entertainment, not for like endorsing the behavior.
They also, again, because they're spending all their time together. Now, to be clear, they both were taking showers at the same time. This is actually fairly normal. But they had like a whole thing with, oh, we both forgot our towels. Oh my God. And of course, Morgan then like retold that story about 50 times. Like, oh, can you believe we both forgot our towels?
And this is the thing. You can't let Morgan have even one story to tell, because she will tell that story, like she will like beat the dead horse so fast. Like it's not even like over a couple of weeks, okay, well, we're sick of it now. It's instant. It is instant.
Mm-hmm. So that's really the day. Again, I think what we're anticipating is a big counter push on Ava, mostly throwing Rachel under the bus. We'll see if that impacts Ashley, and then where things go from there. But as of right now, Mickey still leaves if she does not win the blockbuster. But if she does, it will be Vinny that leaves. That is how things stand right now. There are 2 full days before the eviction, though, so we will see how it stands. Anything else to talk about, Kirsten?
I just want to put it out there. You know, we've spent a lot of time this season complaining about the gameplay, confused about the, lack of knowledge going into the season. I think we could all enjoy ourselves significantly more if we just accept that this is a mid-season reboot, like a mid-series reboot of Big Brother. Like this is like 2 years ago on Grey's Anatomy, they were like, here's a new set of residents, these are the main characters now. This is new. This is like season 1 over again. This is a new show, and we just need to be grateful that we get to see it, and now we get to watch gameplay completely evolve again over the next however many years Big Brother's on the air.
Yes. All right. Well, that's what we have for you then today. If you want to hear more about all of the drama outside of the house and all the other sloppy things going on, make sure you tune into the Slop tonight. If you are a patron of Rob as a podcast, I'll of course be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything that does happen today on the Big Brother 27 live feeds. I'm anticipating some amount of drama with all of the dirt to drop. And then, of course, tomorrow night, I'll be live, YouTube and Twitch, watching the episode. We'll be live afterward with a recap here on RHAP. Check out my book, Behind the Mirror, TaranArmstrong.com.
Mine's not in Fridge,
and check out the coverage I'm doing for Australian Survivor versus the World over on my Patreon, if you are interested in getting my reactions to those episodes. Kirsten, anything else to talk about? Anything else to plug?
Yeah, please listen to Mess Magnets with myself and Sasha Joseph, talking pop culture, celebrity gossip, and trending topics. You can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, and go follow the RHAP Instagram and TikTok if you want to see some of the podcasters' legs. We're not just floating heads.
Oh boy. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here today, and I will see all of you next time.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.